Hi everybody, I wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how to first apply your mascara makeup. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're first using cream makeup, because it is different than traditional makeup, is that we use way too much makeup. So I'm going to show you how little you need to create the highlight and contour look. Now the first thing I want you to do when you get your makeup is it comes in these cute little tins right here. So if your makeup was sitting in the hot sun in your mailbox, the first thing you should do is take that box and put it right in the refrigerator and let it sit there for like 10 minutes. Then you can take it out, okay? Now when you open it, you're just going to use your thumb on the bottom and slide it out. And in your compact is magnetic. So you'll just take your compact and just slap it right in there. But don't throw away the tops, because the tops can help you pop that right back out. Also, if you ever want to mix colors later on, it comes in handy for that, because you can make a whole nother color with your lip and cheek colors by combining them and melting them, and then you have a whole new lip and cheek color. Now, the only thing that you can't melt with Mascara Beauty is the illuminators, but when your contour or your highlight starts to get low, you can actually put it on the stovetop in a pan, just let it melt down a little bit, take a toothpick and run it through, and then take it off and let it cool. Let it cool completely, and then you can pop it back in, and then it looks brand new. All right, so the other thing that you're gonna get with your package is this. Now, keep this intact until you know that this makeup is what you wanna keep. If you wanna return anything, you need this label. But if you decide to keep everything, a little pro tip, you can cut these names out right here, okay, and use them as labels for your compact, and you can stick them up here so that you know what color you're using. All right, so those are my first couple of tips. Okay, what you're going to need, you will need your brushes and you will need your highlight and contour. Also, I always recommend a sponge. If you didn't get the Perfector sponge, then you can get any sponge at like Walmart or Target or Amazon. Dampen it, okay, so wet it, wring it out, then wring it out in a towel, and it makes it nice and fluffy and great for blending, because we want to make sure that we don't ever have too much makeup on our face, okay? Now, our brushes, if you did not get our brushes, these brushes are made specifically for cream makeup. The brushes that you have at home may not be made for cream makeup, and it may make application a little bit more difficult. So I always recommend, if you can, getting at least one brush, because that will totally help. All right, so when you first get your colors, the first thing I want you to do is make sure it's a correct match. If you got color matched in person, that's a totally different story. But if I color matched you online, I want you to do what's called a swipe test. So I'm going to take, I'm in between colors right now. Right now it's like almost like getting into wintertime, and so I'm going from my summer color to my fall color. So my summer color is right here, it's mango, and I'm just, look how lightly I'm tapping my finger in, okay? I'm gonna take it and swipe it down my cheek. See how that blends in really well? And if I were to blend it, it just melts into my skin and disappears. That's what we're looking for. Now, if I take amber, which is my fall color, and I do the same thing, let's swipe it over here, you can see that a little more, right? It's still okay. I can still wear it, because when it blends out like this, it's still a good match. But if I were to take a light color like white peach and swipe it down, this is not what we want to see when we're color matching. So if the color looks like that and it doesn't blend out, then it's not the right color and we need to go back to the drawing board. But hopefully everybody's got the right color and we're good to go. All right, if I gave you a color corrector that's the first thing that you're going to put on. So I have a lot of redness in my cheeks that I cover up first with Mango. I do use Mango as my color corrector during the winter, but I want to show you how lightly I am putting this on. So I'm taking my blush and bronzer brush and I am just tapping, lightly tapping in the tin. No swiping or digging, that's way too much makeup. You just want a little bit on the end. And I'm going to stipple it on the areas that I want to cover up with redness. I also go under my eye. This is my main highlight as well, but I like to go, this is where contour normally would go, but if I don't cover it up with my color corrector, then the contour tends to not look as good. So I'm doing this first on my areas of redness and under my eyes. Okay, I'm doing very lightly. It's the lightest amount, just enough to neutralize the color. I also get redness on my chin, so I'm going to put it right there. And on my upper lip. And then I also do my nose, but I tend to concentrate more on my nose with a smaller brush because I do get some areas of redness here. Now, I do recommend, if you have dry skin, to put your moisturizer on beforehand, but let it soak in for 10 to 15 minutes and possibly only put the moisture on the areas where you get dry. So I already put my moisturizer on and I also already put my Stay Spray on because I did my eyes already. So my face is primed and ready to go. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to do is going to go in with my contour. I don't want to put more makeup on my face than I already have to. So contour is really going to cover these areas and chisel out my face, but I don't need contour and my main highlight there. That would be 2 layers of makeup that I just don't need. So I am taking the straight end of the Detail Hack Brush, and again, I'm dabbing it in there. Now, when you first get your highlights and contours, there's usually a film over top of it, so you may need to just rub it around a little bit to kind of break that film free. But your contours are going to be a little bit more dry than your highlight and brightener. So I'm taking that and I am putting it right under my cheekbone. And the contour should look like a natural shadow. It shouldn't look orange and it shouldn't look like dirt. So if it does look like any of those things, make sure you contact me and we can get you exchanged for a different color. So I'm just placing it right there under my cheekbone, and you see I'm pressing it in because I don't want to move all of the color corrector that I put on there. So I'm pressing it. If I were to swipe, I would just move it off, and we don't want to do that. So going right under here. When you contour, make sure not to go past your pupil, because when you start getting in here, especially if you already have like definition or sunken in here, it's going to make you look a little bit gaunt or just older, and we don't want that. We want to look younger. So I usually do not go past the middle of my pupil. It just chisels that area out. Okay, so now I'm going to do the top of my forehead, and I'm coming here, and I am able to swipe this in because I don't have any color corrector there, and my skin doesn't really move on the top of my forehead. It's nice and tight, so I don't need to worry about this area, but I am blending up into the hairline. Okay, and now I'm gonna do my jaw, and we wanna make sure we stay just under here, and then we wanna blend down so that we don't have a line. So I'm gonna go right here. And blend down. And this just defines our jaw. Now, if you have what I have, see this little jowl coming, you can take your contour and just go right on the top of that area, and it smooths it right out. Cool. All right, other side. And then I blend down. Okay, so my contour is pretty severe right now, but I'm gonna blend that later once I do my lip and cheek color. All right, so on to the main highlight. Your main highlight pretty much goes anywhere that your contour did not. So it goes under the eyes, it goes on the forehead, it goes everywhere, okay? So I am, once again, tapping very lightly, and I already did this area, so I'm just gonna come in here. Just to give me enough coverage. It's always better to do way less at first than to go too much. Because you can always add another layer, right? Okay. Now I'm going on my forehead. Okay, main highlight is all over my face. So what I can do now is take the fluffy end and just kind of blend it all out really lightly. I don't want to move the makeup too much. I just want it nice and blended. And now is the time to go in with my Perfector sponge in between layers of makeup. So I'm just making sure that I don't have too much makeup. And see, I'm just dabbing, and it just bounces right off of me. All right, now this is the last step. This is the one that you should be doing the lightest, your brightener. Ladies, if you have wrinkles under here, you do not want to put your brightener right under your eye. What you're gonna do is a light sweep under that area and up onto the cheekbone. We want that area to just kind of fade into the background. If we put this light brightener on that area, it is going to emphasize your wrinkles and any other texture that you have there. So that's not what we want. The brightener is too light to be a main foundation. It's just meant to bring brightness to the areas that we normally get brightness in. So because of that, we want to go really, really lightly in those areas. So once again, I am taking my brightener here, and I have my fluffy Best Blend Forever brush. I like this because it's for light coverage, and I don't want to emphasize pores or any other texture on my face. If you're young and you don't have any of those wrinkles there, you can get right up under there. You can go right under and across. But if you're older, stay clear of that under eye area. So I'm tapping very lightly. See how light I'm tapping? And then I am going from the side of my nose and kind of sweeping across, avoiding that under eye area. I just want a little bit of a lighter color right here to just kind of see how that just popped open and lifted everything up. That's what we want. Just a little bit goes a long way. And see how I'm just so lightly applying it. If you can bring it down into here too, especially if you have laugh lines right there, just lightly right there. And then on the chin, again, nice and light, just to bring that diamond of light to your face. And you can avoid this area if you have like really big wrinkles there. You can avoid that area, but if you don't have many wrinkles there, you can just put a little bit right here, a little bit, and it just brings nice brightness to that area. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm going to take my Perfector sponge and I'm going to just dab it, make sure I don't have too much. And it shouldn't feel tacky. It should feel just like skin, like moisturized skin, not tacky. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with my lip and cheek color that I'm gonna put on my cheeks. Today I'm gonna use Nude, and I'm going to use the same thing that I used to put on my, my main highlight. I'm using the domed side, and I'm gonna tap into Nude. And for cheek color, we wanna kind of marry the contour with the cheek. So I'm gonna start right here and kind of just hug that contour line. And then with the leftovers, I'm gonna just come on the big part of my cheek. And then I'm gonna blend with the fluffy side and marry those two lines together. See how it's just kind of disappeared and it's all become one nice pretty area. All right, so now I'm gonna do the other side. And then with the leftovers right here, and just blending it together. Okay, now I'm gonna do Illuminator. So Illuminator goes right on top of the cheekbone. So right here, it can go under the eyebrows, which I've already done. It can go in the corner of the eyes, which I've already done, and on the Cupid's bow. You can also put it down your nose if you want, but I usually don't do that. So you can apply this with your finger or you can do a brush. So today I'm going to do Dolce, and I'm just putting my finger in there, and then I'm just gonna tap, tap, tap right along here. And it just adds a little bit of shimmer so that you have a pretty glow. And then I'm gonna take my fluffy brush and just kind of make sure it's all blended. And then I'm gonna take my sponge, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Tap, 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 tap. I have so little makeup on my face. Blend. Right here. And then on the Cupid's bow. So I'm gonna put that right here. Okay, so here's a trick that I have for you. To get a natural lip look, I love to use my contour on my lips with just a tiny bit of my lip color. So I'm going to take this brush, and I am going to just put it in my contour lightly, and I'm going to line my lips. And it's just the littlest amount. See how my lips are now just popping? If you wanted your bottom lip to look bigger, you could actually do more of a contour right there. So I like to take just a little bit of Lolly. Lolly is what I consider my nude color. Lolly looks really crazy in the tin, but it's a gloss. So I just put a little bit. And then I have just a really natural lip color. So that's what I've got for you. Now's the time where you would spray your Stay Spray on to make sure that everything stays, and then you would take your sponge and just press it in, and then you're good to go. So a little bit goes a very, very long way. So make sure you do the swipe test, and then make sure when you're applying your makeup, you're going the least amount possible just to cover your face. So it's kind of like you're being just airbrushed, just enough to give you like a light mist of makeup on. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this helped.